Hey everybody, welcome to the new Thursday Average Nerd Show, where we talk about things that aren't exactly just game related. Cue the intro. Hey everybody, welcome to our Thursday show, where we're not just going to talk about games. We love talking about games with you all, but we decided to start this segment, the Average Nerd segment, where we'll talk about things like anime, comic books, game-related news, just all kinds of stuff that's happened throughout the weeks. So, to get started with our first topic is this.
And this is the Oculus Rift. If you have one of these, then yesterday was probably a pretty bad day for you. Users found that for about 24 hours, their Rift was pretty well useless.
Yeah, due to a clerical error, the certificates that provide security for the runtime were not updated, so users found that they'd go to use their Rift and couldn't do anything. The reason this being was because somebody just forgot to update the dates on a security certificate, and because that runtime service is what's needed to actually use your Rift or even update your Rift, they couldn't even actually automatically put out a patch to fix it. So they actually had to put a manual patch on their website this morning that allowed users to download it, and were able to fix the problem. Some users found they were able to turn back the date and time on their computers and made the certificate think it was a different date and they could actually use their Oculus. But this was a huge ball drop on Oculus's end. It definitely is 1 point for Vive. I don't believe they've had any problems like this. Now I do love my Oculus Rift and I've had a lot of fun with it. But this was pretty bad. They need to make sure that the next certificate that they put on these things definitely does not expire, or if it does, it doesn't expire for many years. Because nobody wants to one day have an expensive piece of hardware laying around that they cannot even use at all. Now I'm sure modders will find a way to make it useful if this ever happens again, but let's hope it doesn't come to that.
And on to the next topic. Rumor has it that NVIDIA will be releasing their GTX 2070 and 2080 sometime next spring.
And nobody's going to be able to afford it. MSRP on GTX 1080s and 1070s or even 1060s are still super high. The other day I saw a GTX 1060 going for $700. I saw a GTX 960 going for like $500 on Amazon. And the MSRP for these cards is outrageous, and there's only one group of people to blame, and that's the miners that are going out and spending fortunes on these cards so that they can mine some precious Bitcoin that's probably going to tank. And no offense, but if you're one of those people, I hope that market tanks. Because these video cards, they're made to play video games. They're made for people to do video rendering. They're made for students to make video games. They're not made for you to slap in a system and run till they burn out and go to hell just so you can make a few dollars. That's not what they're made for, and you're killing it for the rest of us. So it's awesome that the 2080 and the 2070 are going to be coming out, but nobody's going to be able to afford them. They're not going to go to the people they're intended to, and to me, that is just sad.
Yeah, that's an awfully high hike up in the price just for a few bucks, really. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know all the specs behind it, but it seems to me like it's an awful lot of effort just to get a few bucks here and there.
Yeah, well, I mean, right? If the market's high in mining, there is a lot of money there for it. But even still, you're looking at spending 10 grand and then probably maybe 2-3 months into it making that money back. So you gotta hope it's cost efficient. And the market's already dipped. There's a reason that cryptocurrency mining with GPUs didn't really take off for very long, and it never really took off for the NVIDIA cards. AMD cards were always high in price when GPU mining was effective, but it stopped being effective a while ago, and it just now recently became effective again. So this whole hike up in the price is just, it makes everybody mad. It's not cool at all. These video cards, they're not made for that. They are made so that people can enjoy playing games, making games, rendering video, doing 3D art. I mean, they're made for doing all kinds of cool things. Sticking them in a system and burning them out until they're unfunctional just so you can make some money, that's not what they're made for. And you miners out there that are doing this, you're ruining it for everybody else. So I don't feel any sympathy for any hate you guys get on your videos.
I have to agree. That's just, it's ridiculous to me. The prices on it, I'm just now starting to learn some of this stuff and all the different hardware and all that other kind of things, and it is ridiculously priced.
Yeah.
Just for a basic one.
Yeah, I mean, I paid when I initially built my first mini ITX build, the one for my living room, the best card for that, because at the time an FX power supply was like 450 watt, the best card for that was a GTX 960, and I think I paid $250 for that brand new, and it's a hell of a card. And it's now, like the other day I saw on Amazon, one of them, the exact model that I've still got, it's running for like $500. And I'm sitting there like, there's no way. There is no way you're going to make any money with that card, even with the cryptocurrency market. There's no way. It's a good card. It's a good solid card, especially for a mid-range gaming PC, especially a living room build, but it's not going to make you any money. So for them to jack the price up that high on that card is just, it's getting to be a little bit too much. But moving on, us baffling on about cryptocurrency and how much I really despise miners aside, we need to move on to the next topic. And next up on What Really Grinds Nathan's Gears, he's really passionate about this guy, so hear him out.
I am. This one, it really does kind of grind my gears. I listen to Spotify a lot at work, and I'm too cheap to pay for the premium version, so naturally I get all the ads. And one of them is just the worst thing. Xfinity has to be the poster child for hypocrisy in advertising. It is absolutely ridiculous. We'll play it for you right now.
Relax. It's just a sleepover. Besides, we've got DirecTV, so we've totally got this. Okay, kids, movie time!
Maybe not, with your satellite dish in this heavy storm.
Who was that?
Me? I'm the legal disclaimer.
Fine. We'll play musical chairs instead.
You have 2 chairs and a couch.
Don't let DirecTV rain on your parade. Xfinity delivers reliable TV service, rain or shine. Severe weather, heavy rain or snow may interfere with the satellite signal, causing the picture to freeze or pixelate.
And there you have it. It is ridiculous. Right after they sit there and just dog on DirecTV for their TV signal and all that stuff going out, they have a little disclaimer at the very end. Hey, we do the exact same thing.
Which, on Nathan's point, he is 100% right. It is the same. I used to work for Dish Network years and years ago, and the way that the cable companies actually get their signal is still from satellites. Now, the way it works, though, is they get it from satellites in, like, Arizona, near desert areas where there's hardly ever bad weather. They get their TV signal from there. They push it out everywhere else. Now, but if there is a storm or if there is bad weather in that area, that you're still going to get some problems. Now, the problem with that is if you could have perfect weather, and if there's bad weather where your signal's coming from and you have cable, you're going to experience some issues. Now, this doesn't really bother me that much because I really hate satellite, and I've worked for, like I said, I worked for Dish Network, and I'm not going to say too much, but they are not good people.
Now, bottom line on all this stuff is, if you want me to buy your product, don't sit there and make an ass out of yourself during the whole thing. Just saying. It's much more likely that I'm going to buy your product if you just say, hey, we make a good product. Try it. You know, it's real simple.
Yeah. But, moving on now, that's the Nathan Grinds His Gears segment. I think we're gonna well, we can't trademark it. I think Peter Griffin's beat us to that, but we've actually got a green screen that showed up about a half hour ago, but we're not going to put it up because why would we put a green screen up halfway through filming? I'm not refilming this stuff. I just don't want to. But green screen's going to be here, and we're going to have that whole logo from the newsstand from Family Guy right behind Nathan every time he's just mad about something.
There'll be a lot. There'll be a lot.
I get mad about a lot of stuff too. Which, well, at the end of this video, we're doing a response to comments, so you'll hear some of my anger. But anyway, moving on to something that's near and dear to both mine and Nathan's heart. The last subject before the response to the comments is the end of Dragon Ball Super. Now, a lot of you guys, I'm sure, know that is a huge show. Me and Nathan have been watching Dragon Ball ever since the original English dub on Adult or not. It wasn't even Adult Swim.
It was 4Kids TV, I think.
4Kids TV. Then it was Toonami. We've been watching the show for the better part of 20 years. I know we don't look that old, but we are that old.
That was the very first anime I ever watched, actually. It was the one that introduced me to the whole thing.
Pokemon was mine, if you want to count that as an anime. But
does anybody?
Yeah. But yeah, so they finally brought Super back 3 years ago, and now we've got 2 more episodes left. Now, we have been debating this. We're not really debating it, but we're talking about what we think is going to happen, how this, Now, Fuji TV has responded, and they have said that the reason that they are canceling the series as of right now is because the movie they are currently working on, which is going to be about the original Super Saiyan God, is supposed to come out later this year, and their Toei Animation is wanting to put all of their effort and all their energy into working on that movie. Now, what I think is going to happen is a very similar situation in Naruto, when Naruto stopped for about, I think it was 2-3 years, and then it came back out as Naruto Shippuden, picked right back up off of it, and Super wasn't even the original iteration, can't talk today, wasn't even the original iteration. It was Dragon Ball, then Dragon Ball Z, and then Dragon Ball GT, if you want to count that, which I want to wipe it out of my memory. And then now Super, which is actually canon to follow the ending of Z. So we are kind of hoping that they bring it back at some point in time. I'm sure they will. I mean, I cannot see such a huge show like Dragon Ball just that Toei Animation just saying they're done. That'd be sort of equivalent of Disney Channel coming out and saying, Mickey Mouse, he's gone, we're done.
Especially in this short amount of time.
Mickey's no longer the spokesperson.
I would love to see
Hannah
that.
Montana is the new spokesperson. Miley, where are you at? But no, that's sort of the equivalent to that. It wouldn't be a good move, so I'm sure they're going to end up bringing it back out.
Especially with this as short a time as they have.
Yeah.
If anybody's still keeping up on it, where they're at in the story now, like so we have 2 episodes left, and I don't know how they're going to wrap up that big of a plot with just 2 episodes, because they not even close to finishing it, really.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how they finish that off, and I'm skeptical at best that it's going to be quality.
We are both hoping deep in our soul that it's an April Fool's joke, because if you look at the time schedule, this would fall right on April Fool's. So we're kind of hoping this is like some really sick and twisted but awesome April Fool's joke. Very similar to the Legend of Zelda movie that IGN
we'll admit totally fell for it.
They posted a trailer for it, and it was out. I think it was out for like a month, wasn't it? Before
it was something like that. It was out for a good while.
And we just gotten on YouTube and we watched the trailer, and it said it was releasing that day, and it was April 1st. But we had been out of society for a little while. We didn't really go along and play April Fool's joke, so we just didn't really pay attention to it. And it said it was April 1st, and we looked at the calendar like, oh God! This is in theater today. We gotta go see this. And we got on the internet. We're trying to find every theater around us. Why is nobody playing this movie? And then it finally dawned on us. We're like, wait a minute. It's April 1st. This movie's not real. So that would definitely. That's still the leading April Fool's joke in my eyes. Yeah. I think that it would only be topped if Dragon Ball Super was like, ha, gotcha. No.
Now, it is worth noting that in Japan they're a day ahead of us, so it would fall on April 1st for them, but it's going to be March 31st here in the United States.
Yeah, they are a day ahead of us.
Just to clarify.
But that would be crazy.
It really would. And
I don't think that is what it is. I think they said they wanted to put their time and energy into this movie, and I believe them. I think that it's been going for 3 years pretty much straight. I mean, yeah, they've had a month hiatus here or 2-week hiatus here, but it's not like the shows we have here. Like, I watch Arrow and The Flash and Game of Thrones, and hell, Game of Thrones, we're going on 2 years, I think, before the next season of it. And, Arrow and The Flash and those shows like that, they take 6 months off. So it's not like those shows. This show's been going on for 3 years. So I think maybe just give the writers a little bit of a break. Let them come up with what's going to happen next. Let them focus on this movie, and then go from there. Just come back and come back strong, because that's a great show, and it's going to be really sad. We're probably going to end up doing a live reaction video when the finale airs, or when we can get a hold of the finale through Crunchyroll. So hopefully we'll be able to watch that and get a reaction video, and hopefully I will try not to cry. But moving on now.
Well, actually, one more thing on that real quick. Not to pull the trope, but in the comments, I want you guys to go ahead and leave a comment and let us know what you guys think is going to happen at the end of the series. How it's going to finish up, what you think is going to happen to it, who's going to win, all the, whatever you think is going to happen. I'm really curious because we have our own theories on it, and we'd really like to see whatever you guys have and what everybody else
do it before it actually ends, though. Don't watch the finale, then
don't be that guy
and comment on it. Called it. Is anybody gonna answer that phone?
It was me. Yeah.
Anyway, but moving on. So we've decided to do a response to the comments section, and We've got about 3 comments. You guys have been all really supportive. Hardly any of you have left really any crappy comments. And those of you that have shown your support and said you guys need more subs, thank you for that. But we've got a couple comments that catch our eye, and y'all might think with with the Sword Art Online video getting thousands of comments. I mean, that thing gets comments constantly. Like every 5 minutes, my phone's blowing up. You guys might think I don't read the comments, but he doesn't read the comments. Guess what? We do. We get very bored sometimes. My kids go to school, and my youngest is taking a nap. I will scroll through the comments. So this is a little bit of our response, and in order to kind of spice things up for this, when I was in Ohio a couple weeks ago, I actually picked this up, and I was gonna punish this guy with it if we were doing the Friday night versus, and this was gonna be his punishment. And then we've been trying to redo some things with the channel, and I really like spicy food, and I watch all these spicy challenges, and this is supposed to be dangerous, hotter than a ghost pepper. So this is XXX Scorpion Jerky. Let's see, made with the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion. And it has a warning on it for how dangerously hot it is, and it won an award in 2016 for being the spiciest of the year. So, I've decided while we answer these, or respond to these comments, I'm going to eat this. And then afterwards, Nathan here is going to drive me to the hospital. So, let's get started with that. Okay, so let's get started. I got 3 comments here that I'm going to read off. Now, before I actually read these comments off and respond to them, as I showed you a minute ago, I decided I'm going to try to do this while eating this scorpion beef jerky that's supposed to be extraordinarily dangerous. Yeah, so I got myself a glass of milk here for afterwards. I like spicy food, but even I don't know if I can handle this, because I went there looking for a ghost pepper to punish this guy, and I came... Oh! Well, that one
You're making a mistake, friend. Oh my.
I'm just saying, last person I respond to, you're gonna get the...
No, I don't want. I want the bag.
Oh, you want the bag?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want this?
No.
There's another one in there for you.
Well,
There's 2.
I figured you'd want 2.
Well, here I'm taking a strip. I'm not shoving this whole thing in my mouth. Jesus. Okay, will you put that back in the bag and don't touch your eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a bad idea. But I'm always so serious in the videos, so I'm trying to not be so serious. Okay, so go ahead. The first one comes from this user. And this is a response. Sorry, this is a response to the "How close are we to full dive?" video. And I had mentioned, or I brought up the Pimax working on the 8K display, and I had also researched other people that were working on better displays, but the Pimax was the only one commercially that was really at the top. And then I had this user write me, and he says, the Pimax is 2 4K panels, not 8K. 8K is actually quadruple 4K. So, my response. Now, oh yeah, that's a bad idea. It's got some flavor. I better talk while I still can though. Okay, so, he's right. Technically, it's 2 4K panels. But it's 1 panel per eye. And Wikipedia actually has a definition here that says 8K resolution is 7680 by 4320 altogether. So if you have a 4K panel here and a 4K panel here, technically you're getting double the vertical and horizontal resolutions, so technically it's still 8K.
How you doing?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And power through it? You got this. Come on, eye of the tiger, baby.
Okay. Ooh. User number 2. Commenting on my what to play after Paladins video. Looks like you were dead wrong about Paladins. Oh God.
How's your heart?
Oh, heart's good.
Heart's good. Okay.
That's bad. Oh, it's getting worse. So much worse. Okay, response to you. Look at the grid that I'm putting up on the screen right now. Paladins was losing players. The only spike they had was when they announced Paladins Battlegrounds. That fad, or that excitement quickly died off. They were continuing to lose players. And they ended up taking 3 months to do this before finally backtracking to save their game. So I wasn't wrong. They ended up having to do a lot to save the game.
On the plus side, there's no nitrates added to this jerky. There's also no MSG.
Yep. Read the next comment, I can't.
Okay, let's see. This video is complete trash. This isn't even full dive VR, it's half dive VR. Full dive equals intercepts brain signals in the brain, i.e. Neuralink, which you completely ignored, arguably the most important VR-related project there is, that essentially transfers your consciousness into the character of the game. Half dive equals you still wear IRL, you still wear items IRL, and use external items to produce similar effects to what you want. For example, using a smell mixer to simulate smells by combining chemicals on cue and spraying them IRL. You need a headset with a screen, etc. Half dive is essentially what this video... Are you okay?
I'm okay, keep going.
Okay. What this video is about the tech itself. And the tech itself is almost entirely pointless and redundant when Neuralink is scheduled to be in the mainstream use within 10 years, being in medical use in 6 years. If we assume setbacks, then 15 years for commercial mainstream use is the latest.
I got words for you, buddy. Hang on. This is so painful. Okay. 1. No The video was not titled Full Dive is Here. The video was titled How Close Are We to Full Dive?
Why is it starting to burn?
Oh. Second, I mentioned Neuralink in that video. The mouse being controlled, or the rat being controlled by the dude's brain, and the paraplegic that can walk. Thirdly, where the hell do you get that we're going to be using Neuralink medically in the next 6 years? Or commercially? This isn't Sword Art Online, man. Those dates aren't accurate. So, thank you for being an asshole, but I don't really think you quite grasped what the video was actually about. Woo! Oh. That reminds me of the time I maced myself as a joke. I think it might be worse. That's all we got. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. God.
An impassioned response to all you commenters. Just know that next time he'll probably do something even worse to up his game a little
No,
bit.
I really won't.
He's the man.
This is bad. We love you guys, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.